Well, here goes nothing. Um, Good evening, good morning, good day, whatever the thing is, wherever the place is. Um, yeah, this is happening. It's very uncommon that I stop to say, like, whatever I'm doing, I need to say this, but this felt natural and it felt good. And I'm really, really excited about spending a little time. So tonight, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful here in South Carolina. But yeah, I want to talk about like how we're living in answer prayers majority of the time. This week has been such a surreal, I would say the last maybe month have been like a surreal answer prayer, living in it, waking in it, moving in it, being intentional in it. But I never understood that when we're in answer prayers, I won't say that I never understood, but maybe I didn't understand, but I don't think it's spoke about enough that when you're in them, how you expect them to feel when you pray them is not the reality of the feeling when you're in them. And this week, I almost missed out on living out loud, being grateful, being joyful, being in the present of an answer prayer by thinking about all the other things that comes next that I was going to miss what's here now. So I took a little notes. I got little notes. That's rare too. But yeah, I think everybody has been here if we're honest, or honestly, we may not know because I feel like it didn't hit me immediately. Like I said, this has been an ongoing thing for a while now, but it's also a prayer that I've prayed numerous of times in numerous of different ways during numerous of occasions, not saying like I'm praying for that same thing, but it could be God help in this, or God allow your will to be done, and that all directed that energy toward that same thing that we're living in. But when it's there, it's like, okay, like it's here now. No, it's here, rejoice. Now it's here, do that thing. Like I was rejoicing more in the middle of it than I was this week. And it's like, let it settle, because when you move on to that thing, you're then going to be looking for that thing and how that thing lands and those type things. But I might be getting ahead of myself, which is why I probably don't use notes to start with. But it's tension, like, right? Like how we miss blessings is because of the tension of what that blessing might have in store for us. So, which could prolong the time of its arrival. Some things are more in correlation or the capacity of the blessing, because God can give us something that we've asked for and we prayed for. We could wait, let's say, 2 years for whatever it is that we asked for. It comes to fruition, but not in the magnitude that we expected it to come. Perfectly aligned from God, not in the magnitude that we wanted. Did that mean that our blessing wasn't given to us? No, it was. And it was given in the right proportion for how we can handle it. But even in that instance with me, it was given in the right proportion. And I still almost missed it because, oh, this don't look like what I thought that it was going to look like. It don't feel like that either. So then there lies this tension in my body that it's like, oh my God, I got to do this. Now I got to do this. Or, okay, this chapter is ending, so now we got to do this. Or why don't I make a to-do list of all the things that I have to do from now until then? Because now that we're here, I got to do more. And I felt that, but it came with a lot of emotions. And this is the thing that I'm saying, like, a lot of times we don't speak about that. Like, even like the grief of a blessing, like, which is even bizarre to say, but when you're in that blessing and it doesn't look, feel, taste, whatever, like what you expected it to be, that doesn't mean that it wasn't right on time. It doesn't mean that it wasn't exactly what it was supposed to be. But your body might say something else, or your mind might say something else, or you may move in an awkward way that you really haven't figured out what that thing is yet, right? We're looking for that next version. We expect it to be perfect or quiet or easy. We expect it to come in like landing, like, no, whirlwind blessings happen, and they're still great as the silent ones. And most of the time we speak so much about those silent blessings, the blessing that nobody doesn't talk about. But what happens when it's the big ones too, and then they carry all the tension of what that is? I always thought like an answered prayer would feel calmer than this one. Yeah. But it didn't. But it's still a blessing, a massive blessing. And then awareness came, so full transparency, because this wouldn't be I Am Vulnerable without it. Yesterday, so excited, so happy. It was signing day for my son. Yay, Darius, go, go, go. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. All you, none of us. But instead of me being like I envisioned this day, maybe not in the capacity that I should have, because it clearly was not what I intended it to be, from the thought or the vision that someone would say, hey, this is what this is going to look like. Hey, excuse me, this is what signing day is going to feel like. This is what it's going to look like. You're going to read this. I just knew, like, no, it did not look like what I thought that it would. It did not feel like what I thought that it would. And it was heavier than I've ever imagined. And I'm so in my head and my feelings and my emotions. I'm grateful, yet I'm planning. I'm overthinking, yet I'm overjoyed. It was so many emotions, and I was crying, and I was doing this, and I was doing that. And then it hit me. You're living in an answered prayer, and you're going to miss it. If you don't figure it out right now, tighten up, you're going to miss it. And it wasn't like I wasn't going to be fully present for my kid, because that comes easy. It just meant that it looked different than I expected, but it happened exactly the way that it should. It allowed me to pause. It allowed me to now, today, be even more grateful than I was yesterday. So then there was that awareness, like, it's the awareness of what's going on, like, this is all this, how is it this? So it was a sign of discomfort that something was really wrong, but it's also proof that something is working. And because it is working, I expected working to look easy, and not in everything. That's the thing. Like, and this is why God is he is so amazing in so many arenas. Like, he's like a magician, like the master. You're the masterpiece. His paintbrush is on you, and he is every stroke is with precision, every detail from where he mixes a color. He might shade a blue with the gray, or he might have a sunset behind you one day that you never even could imagine the brightness of the sun on the day that you need it the most. The air, it's so mind blowing the way that he cares so much about you. And we're so caught up in this is right, this is wrong, I need to do this, I need to do that the blessings that he's already articulated so perfectly only for you, which is another thing, you can't miss your blessing comparing it to other people's blessings. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about not understanding when we're in the middle of our prayer and that we're getting that answered prayer and that answered blessing. Dang, I was about to go on a tangent on that. But yeah, like, it's that awareness. Like, God is so precise. He is so precise in the way that he loves his children. And I think sometimes it takes the I don't knows, the yeah, no, the maybe so's. It takes the tension in these moments to allow us to shift, to be soft, to understand that we are not only exactly where we should be, but we are also walking in alignment. And again, a lot of times that I say things, there's a certain place that somebody is that could get it, but that doesn't mean that it cannot be widely experienced from everybody else, you know? So we have to sit in that. We have to know that we have to arrive in that place in order to say, like, hey, I want to be better, or hey, how can I do this? Or when you pray, understand that sometimes that answer comes in an array of different ways. Like, I feel like I've even had blessings that didn't feel good at all. And I'm not talking about on a day. I'm talking about on a week, a month, a year. Like, sometimes those type things are blessings too. And we gotta trust that. We gotta trust God with our lives, like, in a full capacity, not just for what we want, because that's easy. And I think sometimes that's why when our prayers are answered, or we are being blessed in the way that God intended us to be blessed, we sometimes miss it because he never promised us that our plans will align. I think I said this in the last video that I probably need to post. But children, it's a beautiful thing. But those type things, it's like the way that we frame our mind to say what is, what's not, what should be, what has been, what maybe is. That's a you problem. God ain't never promised us that. And that's why I'm so grateful to even be able to pause in a space and give, even in a way that's almost like, dang, like, you ain't see this biggest day? Like, nope, sure didn't, missed it. But then God is so gracious that he gave me a time to pause to say, you're going to want to write this down. You got to want to remember this. You're going to want to feel this. You're going to want to move in the way that you are grateful for this. Because I've been saying to myself a lot, and I will offer this to anybody, God can bless you with more if you're not grateful for what you have now. What's the purpose? And I'm talking about whatever you may feel that it is. It could be good, bad. It could be, oh, I want this more. It could be this. Like, we all have things that we could want a little bit more of, or that could be a little bit better. But unless we are really locking down with God, unless we are really being upfront, honest in all of the things that we are, all of the things that we do, and we are a disciple in more ways than one. You can't necessarily feel that you're missing out on anything either. I don't even know if that's going to land properly, but it is what it is. You can't be hot and cold. You can't be, oh, I want this and I want you to look out for me on this, but yeah, your people over there, I don't really care about them. You can't be like, oh God, please answer this and bless my family and da 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 da, which he will. I'm not saying that his blessing is contingency upon what you do, because